Welcome back to Total F1. Today we're bringing you an interesting topic to the discussion, with Formula One's big interest towards street events. Actually, there were only a few street events in the annual Formula One calendar prior to the beginning of the Liberty Media era in the sport. Now, the calendar is already saturated with several street events, and this number will be increased up to 9 in 2026, with the addition of Madrid into the mix. The Formula One community has a divided opinion regarding the street events, as the majority thinks it has already reached a saturation point. We are going to discuss about reasons behind Liberty Media's big interest towards street events and its impacts in detail. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. At the initial stages of Formula One racing, street circuits were mainly used to hold races, as there were only a few amount of purposely built F1 circuits in that era. When we consider the first ever Formula One championship in 1950, it included a total of 7 races, and there were 3 events that used public roads. However, the race in Monaco is the only one that can be considered as a pure street race, as events in France and Switzerland were held on races on road courses away from cities. The street track layout of Monaco has been in use since the 1920s, and still is in the F1 calendar as one of the oldest venues in the history of the motorsport. There are several tracks available throughout the world to host Formula One races, so it comes as a bit of a surprise that the sport is choosing to focus more on the streets than on specially designed circuits. One of the key reasons behind this latest approach of Formula One management is the flexibility offered by these circuits regarding the number of attendees for an event. Purposely built circuits always have a fixed number of spectators that they can accommodate, but street events normally run through metropolitan areas, accommodating a large spectator capacity. Commercially, this is good for the sport. This street circuit concept perfectly aligns with Liberty Media's strategic approach of heading to vibrant destination cities. The sport ownership expects to enhance fan accessibility through efficient public transport and leveraging existing infrastructure. Moreover, these circuits positioned in metropolitan areas offer teams and sponsors enticing hospitality options, aligning with the overall vision for an engaging and accessible Formula One experience. On the other hand, street circuits offer the opportunity to close down the development gap between different F1 teams. As we know, top teams always invest a large sum of money to build their challengers as the most powerful ones in the grid, as they are competing with good financial backing. But the situation of the lower-ranked teams is different, and these teams do only a few things to enhance their performance. So only 1 or 2 teams are dominating in a single season as a final output of this uneven development process, making the sport somewhat boring. But Liberty Media has found the introduction of street circuits as a practical solution to this big problem. Inside streets, drivers can't rely mostly on the performance of the challengers, as it's hard to drive with full power, making the driving skill as the most deciding factor. That's why we can see some unexpected outcomes at the end of most of the street races, as lower-ranked teams get the opportunity to compete against top teams with lower performance of the challengers. Even though there are some positive aspects of street races in view of commercial value and fan engagement, there is a considerable amount of negative aspects in terms of racing. One of the main issues associated with the street circuits is their narrow layout, which reduces the overtaking ability. Over the decades, the position of the historic Monaco GP in the F1 calendar is questioned by many, as the narrow street layout doesn't fit with the performance and the dimensions of the modern F1 challengers. Most of these street circuits are with sections that limit the overtaking opportunities for drivers. However, the street circuits like Albert Park and Montreal have upgraded with runoff areas and a large number of high-speed corners than tight ones to deliver a great racing experience for both drivers and fans. But the nature of other street circuits is hated a lot by the leading F1 drivers. In addition to overtaking issues, drivers constantly complain about the visibility problems of the street circuits. With their narrow layouts and high walls, drivers see only a limited range, and most of the time, they can't see more than one corner at a time. That's why we can normally experience a lot of DNFs and red flags in street circuits. Drivers always have to put in extra effort to bring the optimum performance out of their challenges, as they have been originally designed to fit with the conditions of the purpose-built race circuits. The conditions of the public roads are totally different from what we experience on the racetracks. The surface of the public roads is built using materials that provide more durability. Those roads don't provide adequate grip to the fast-moving Formula 1 challengers like the surfaces of the original racetracks, especially in wet weather conditions. Even the wet tires can't provide the necessary grip, creating chaotic scenarios inside streets. When organising an F1 race in a metropolitan area, race organisers have to face strong opposition from the residents, as they hate to change their ordinary lifestyle due to a race which they don't care much about. That is bad for the image of Formula 1 as well. However, regardless of all these problematic situations, Liberty Media is investing heavily in the street races, as it's more economically profitable. Recently, the Spanish GP has been moved to Madrid as a street race, instead of the regular event in Circuit de Catalunya. But with that decision, most people think that the Formula 1 calendar is already saturated with enough number of street events. What do you think about Liberty Media's approach towards a street race? Is it good or bad? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula 1 news. See you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.